Hi, Talesian here. And they've just released the notes for update 41 on the wing. And I haven't had a chance to review them yet, but I figured we'd go over them all together. So let's go. Update release notes for 41. Of special note, the hard tack crafting event will begin on August the 1st. The second crafting event has arrived, the hard tack of Thorns Hall. This community effort is open to everyone, but focuses particularly on prospecting and cooking. This is a cooperative event that can be completed by crafters and non-crafters alike. The event takes place every hour with an access point in Thorns Gates outside of Thorns Hall. There's a broadcast to Ered Luin every 5 minutes before the event begins, and the event lasts for 20 minutes. Taking part in the event provides ribbons that can be bartered for rewards with the vendor Hiori Fire Feed outside of the event space. Once inside of Ukabab Garyu, speak with Ogmund Bellowbreath to acquire the event quest. Once acquired, 3 NPCs are available. Prospectors can speak to Skuld Scentload to pick up the Prospector-only quest. Cooks can speak to Ingvul Ovestoke to pick up the Cook-only quest. And everyone can speak to Veligard Kilmorden's Skuld or Ingol to pick up a support quest available to everyone, including non-crafters. Characters must have reached Novice before they can take part in the event. Now, I haven't had a chance to run the event, but I've talked to a few people online who have, and they so far say the event is a little buggy, but it works very well, and the rewards seem to be on par with the event out in Combe for foresters. So it sounds very promising, and once they, of course, fix out any bugs that will happen, as anything does, hopefully things will go well. So I'm looking forward to taking place on this event on the new servers. Also, birding has finally arrived. A new hobby is available in Lord of the Rings Online. Discover and attract birds throughout Middle-earth and earn new rewards. Players can visit a hobby master at any of the locations throughout the world to get started. Equip your Birdwatcher's kit and locate birds while traveling. Use a birding skill called Spot Bird to determine what bird, if any, is discovered. Once you use Spot Bird, a 30-second channeling begins, during which you will get 3 bird-watching execution chances at random intervals. Successfully executing the skill during each of these opportunities will allow you to find even rarer birds. Discovered birds are entered as a stamp into a new tab in the Collections panel created for birding. The Collections panel can be accessed in the main menu over pressing Shift-C. Birdwatcher's kits can be purchased from any supplier vendor. Leveling up your birding gives you a chance to discover rare birds. And when you train birding, you will get text showing you which regions birds can be found in, and birds can be found in any outdoor areas in those regions. Currently, birding is possible in Forachel, Angmar, Ered Luin, Evendim, North Downs, Misty Mountains, the Shire, Breland, Lonelands, Cardolan, Trollshaws, Swanfleet, Erigion, Ennewaith, and Dunland. After 20 birding attempts in a region, the area will grow cold, and you'll need to travel to a different location and continue or wait until the cool down will end. And there's a guide that I will have a link into down below that will have more information concerning about this new hobby. This is the first new hobby we've had in a while, so I'm looking forward to seeing how well this works out. And this will probably be something I'll be doing on stream with my new hunter character on the legendary servers. I figure it's a good way to go hand in hand. The other really big update that they're coming along with in update 41 is for Lore Master. Now, there's far more than I can discuss here. One of the biggest things that they're doing as far as Lore Master is concerned is they're splitting the 3 trees. They're making 1 tree primarily of pets, 1 tree primarily of elements, and 1 tree primarily of control, I do believe. I'll have to double check. I've only played a Lore Master once, so I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that some of the focuses have changed. So, for you Lore Masters out there, I'd be very interested in hearing what you think of these changes. Please post them down below or post them on my Discord link. There will also be a Discord that I'm starting for a new guild that I will be forming for the legendary servers. It's tentatively called the Knights of the Third Age. And if you're interested and you see me out on Angmar, which is the American server, please, let's get started. I'd love to form this guild. As for other changes they've made, they're adding changes to Monster Play, and there's going to be a special reward track for Monster Play. New quests have been added to support a new Monster Play reward track available in the LOTRO store. Now, that one I'm not too familiar with, or like too much. These quests are available from Federal in Glanvrag for free players and by Cineade and Gramsfoot for monsters. 2 quests introduce the new daily offers available. The first one asks you to find out more. Second asks you to get advice from people who might know more. Once these introductory quests are completed, new daily quests from Federal and Cineade open up that rotate daily and drive direct conflict across the Edinmoors. The sides will work to cultivate or corrupt a sapling through daily questing. These daily quests can be reset with Mithril on the monster side of battle. This part I'm not too sure about. A new monster reward player track available in the LOTRO store. I mean, I can understand if this is what I think it is. And again, this is the first time I've read these notes, so I don't have all of the details in front of me. So take this with a grain of salt, please. But if you have to repurchase a reward track through a store and have to repurchase it every season, that doesn't sound very good to me. I mean, maybe they're doing it for the first few times to gauge the effects, and then they'll go ahead and set it free to play. But this one brings me a little bit of hesitation, so this is kind of a wait and see for me. Going on, PMVP Glory Seeking. Glory Seeking is a new quest type available in the Edinmoors, where up to 4 players on each side can choose to become a Glory Seeker. This marks their location on the map, places visual effects over their heads, and increases their damage output by 20%. Glory Seekers are rewarded for defeating opponents and grow stronger every few kills. Defeating a large number of opponents within a 20-minute time limit gives Glory Seekers a buff to damage, renown, and infamy, and earned glory for an additional 30. That sounds good. If it forces you to commit to it, forces you to commit some time to it, which I think is good for the PvMP players. So I think that's a positive change. Now, let me hit the news and notes here. We'll hit the general real quick. They retired the Midsummer Yule presents, which is a shame because they're also retiring the Virtue Reward bonuses, which really came in handy for new characters. And Season 11 of the Legendary Item Reward Track will launch on August 14th. It won't affect the Legendary servers, but for everybody else playing on a non-Legendary server, you've got till August 14th to claim all of your available rewards in the Legendary Item Track before they go away for good. Now, here's the big change in this patch. Lore Masters have received a significant update. And all Lore Master class trait specs have been reset due to changes in the tree. Some of the biggest things here. Pet summoning skills. Retain their current cooldown timers. Come on, there we go. Meaning you can resummon pets at will in combat. However, in yellow line, pets do not support rapid pet cycling. In red line, pets have reduced impact on player output, and in blue line, pets play a key role with gameplay revolving around buffing your pets and then using your pets to deliver the most of your output. So there you go. There's the information we were waiting for about 3 different trees. Again, I'm not going to go over this in a whole lot of detail because, as you can see, this covers most of the notes. Primarily, though, Keeper of Animals is the blue line. This tree focuses explicitly on your summoned pets, centered mainly on buffing and supporting your pet, allowing your pet to deliver the most of your total damage output. These changes represent a fairly major change for the Keeper of Animals and are intended to better differentiate the playstyle of this specialization from the Master of Nature's Fury playstyle. That's the red tree. Scrolling on down, the Master of Nature's Fury. This specialization minimizes the output a player needs to interact with their pets and reduces the overall impact pets have on your personal damage output. The core rotation revolves around tearing up embers and then cashing them out with lightning strikes, but you gain greater access to lightning strikes, and each strike fully removes an existing burning embers dot effect, leading to a more active play roll. So it sounds like you're burning up embers and then building them up, burning up embers and building them up. So it's a definite shift from the blue line where everything is focused on your pets. Excuse me. And then the yellow line is, the yellow line is bringing it more in line with the lore power with yellow line burglars and mariners. So there's your 3 different pet lines. A lot of the details are here. A link to this will be down below. So if you play a lore master primarily, just for my reading of it and just a little bit I've played on the Lore Master, I think these are some good changes. I think the focusing of the trees is going to really help on the play. I actually like the blue line, the Master of Animals. Personally, that's the line that I would go down because I've always been sort of a pet-oriented player. I enjoy hunters in WoW. I enjoy necromancers in Diablo and Path of Exile, and they're primarily pet-focused classes. So that's kind of one of the things that I go for as a pet-oriented class. So I think the changes in the blue line, pulling all of that out and setting it in its own line, I think is a good thing. And I'm interested, maybe a blue red mix might be pretty good, or maybe even a blue yellow mix might be pretty good for this. If you're, as a way to kind of, differentiate a little bit and maybe specialize some, the direct damage or the offhand damage. So we'll easily, those of you who are playing Lore Masters, please comment below, comment on the forums. Let's make sure that the word gets out about this and that people share their knowledge, especially with the devs. Going on down past the Lore Master changes here, some of the notes for other classes. Runekeeper, the Scribe of Moon Ending no longer suggests that it applies to your fellowship when used. This is a targeted skill. Glad for that correction. A renewed defenses effect that follows powerful debuffs like Murder of Crows, Oathbreaker Shame, and the Breaking of Thangodorum now lasts for 90 seconds. That's good. After benefiting from a 2 arms buff, player now experiences 25 seconds of exhaustion. This prevents you from benefiting from any other 2 arms effect until it expires. That's very handy. Captain's Standard War cooldown is increased. Standards of Honor and Victory retain their existing cooldowns, and all 3 skills share a cooldown. And the Mariners Call the Banners of War base cooldown has been increased from 1 minute 30 to 2. Also, this is one of the ones that has been getting a lot of interest in it. In the LOTRO store, the ability to unlock a 4th profession slot is now available. I read somewhere online it's going to cost 990 LOTRO points. That I'm not sure about because that's almost 2 months worth of donation of money that you get from the LOTRO store for being a VIP. I'm not sure if it's worth 2 months. I could have seen it at $5.50, maybe $6. A little bit more than a month. I could see 2 months. I think is kind of pushing it a bit. I think it's going to put some hold on it. I was really looking forward to the 4th slot. Actually, I was going to take Scholar to go along with my Hunter, and because I thought there would be some benefits to it. Being able to make fire oil on my own would be a wonderful thing, but I'm not sure the cost is going to. I'm not sure that cost is going to be worth it. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Let's see. The combat and monsters change. Rectangle and cone AoE effects in-game will now detect targets over significantly greater height differences than before. This should allow area effects to operate more effectively when on slopes, ramps, and stairs. That's good. Crafting and hobbies. Some new crafting introduction credits have been provide dialogue to account for the removal of vocations, and then new metalsmith recipes have added to the Tools of the Ambari line. The Tools of the Ambari Umsman, Explorer, Historian, Prospector, Tinker, and Generalist have been revised dialogue to account for removal of, have been added to the Umbar tier to create the following multi-tools. So that's interesting. And that'll give crafters some better choices too. So that's always a good thing. Huge area for quest, deed, and adventure area changes. Barrow Down's desk, quest digging the dirt now has quest guides are easier to see on the map. Stormraven on the mailbox in Eachshad, Neglank, Dunlian will no longer cause players to go into combat. It's always nice. Oh, God. In the area quest, instant leader, the foul wood, Zagfrim will no longer attack the player before they are on the correct objective, and so forth. There are some good quest, deed, and adventure area changes here. They've made some changes to discourages, missions and delvings, items and rewards. Legendary items now indicated they're ready to be reforged in the examination tooltip. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I always hated having to go back to looking at legendary items saying, okay, do I get to update now? Do I update later? Now it's going to be marked for clear, and that's a good positive change. Socketed instruments will now properly appear in the instrument section of the auction house. That's good too. That will help out the minstrels who are looking for socketed instruments. Whole bunch of changes, PNB Ettenmore's, some landscape changes. Mostly look like graphics. Deco placement issues, stuck dots, pathing issues, floating objects, Z fighting, and terrain texture. So they've been slowly going through and cleaning up more of the landscape. That's always good because, for instance, I remember sending in when I first finished Moria a few months ago. For the first time, there were a whole bunch of bad textures just outside of Moria. Hopefully they've got some of those resolved in this landscape fix. And localization fixes for Dutch and miscellaneous. The game server will now automatically fix a certain class of unable to decrypt and deserialize the data downloaded from the server errors. That's very important. And Fleet Captain Barterer Meeting Hall now shows Barterer map note. Voiceover audio for the Kindred, the last step of the new quest for the captive storyline now plays correctly. Old Bauman at the Combe Lumber Camp now shows the map note that he is a barterer. That's always helpful. Harthbor and Jacques Fanel now shows a map note that he is a barterer. Corsair Ragers and Barad Rill no longer eat using weapons as utensils. Oh, thank you. It could be painful, but thank you. The Tenemer Dwarf Azatam has now a consistent appearance whenever he appears, either in King's Gondor or Verkazar, and Prospector representing Iron Garrison at Gar Fenahem in the Red Horn Loads had their name corrected to Herser. That's good. So briefly, those are the update notes for 41 that's coming out. 41 will also be the first major update that will be hitting the Legendary servers, which will be released tomorrow, August the 1st. And I plan to play on the Legendary servers starting around noon. I think it's noon Eastern. I'll need to double check real quick, but I will definitely be logging in about 15 to 30 minutes prior to when the Legendary servers launch tomorrow. Kind of do some talking and getting things ready, go over notes, maybe some YouTube videos and such. Today is Sci-Fi Wednesday. If you're watching this on the 31st of July, I will be playing Star Wars The Old Republic, continuing on my Bounty Hunter class line and continuing forward with that. But other than that, those are the update notes for 41. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.